Area 51 is a highly classified US Air Force facility located in the Nevada desert. The activities there are shrouded in secrecy, and no one knows exactly what goes on behind the barbed wire fences and no trespassing signs. Some believe that the US government is hiding evidence of extraterrestrial life there. Others speculate that the military conducts unethical experiments and tests technology that is decades ahead of its time. But while the government has extreme measures in place to keep people out, some highly adventurous individuals still lurk around the edges of the restricted area in search of anything out of the ordinary. There are many places in the world that are considered off limits, places so dangerous that even the most adventurous souls dare not to go. But as you would expect, there are stubborn people who like to tempt fate. Today, I will tell you about 3 dangerous places, the people who went there, and what happened to them. In 2014, a YouTuber named Kenny Veach decided to pay Area 51 a visit. He had made up his mind to go there after watching a YouTube video titled "Son of an Area 51 Technician." In the video, the poster talked about weird things happening somewhere around the outskirts of Area 51. After watching the video, Kenny told people in the comments that the story was true. He told them that on one of his many hikes, he had discovered a hidden cave that was shaped like a perfect capital M. But when he tried to enter it, his body started to vibrate. He said that as he got closer to the entrance, the vibrating became worse, and at one point he got scared and took off. Kenny's comments got a lot of traction, with many people saying that they didn't believe him, but that if what he was saying was true, he had to go back and capture it all on camera. Most of the commenters were basically pushing him to go back and document everything about the cave, so he agreed. A couple of months later, he went back out to the desert with his camera, but he couldn't locate the M cave. Later that day, he shared the video on YouTube to inform his subscribers about his failure to locate the cave.
Lots of little caves, but they're not the kind of cave I'm looking for. The kind of cave I'm looking for is deep, and it's dark, and it's shaped like it's shaped just like the letter M.
Over the next couple of months, people in his comment section kept urging him to go back out to find it, but one commenter asked him not to go back, as if they knew something no one else did. The commenter told Kenny that if he went into the cave, he wouldn't get out. But as you'd expect, Kenny didn't listen. On November 10th, 2014, he went back out to search for it, but just like the commenter had said, he never returned. 4 days after he went missing, his girlfriend told the cops about his disappearance, and they launched a search for him. After a week, they found his mobile phone lying outside an abandoned mine shaft, but they didn't find him. He was gone with no traces. Beneath the city of Paris, there is a network of underground tunnels and chambers that is filled with the remains of over 6 million people. The catacombs were created in the 18th century when cemeteries were overflowing with bodies and the country needed a new place to bury its dead. The tunnels stretch on for hundreds of miles, and while some sections are mapped and open to tourists today, there are areas that are totally sealed off to the public. But there is an entire community of adventure seekers who sneak into the forbidden sections of the catacombs that are unmapped and dangerous. Many of those who make it into these sections of the tunnels never make it out. In the early 90s, a man climbed into a sewer linked to the catacombs and found his way to one of the areas that are totally off limits. Then he started exploring the tunnels, recording his journey with a small camera he carried along. At some point, he reached a section of the catacomb with a wall that had an arrow spray painted on it with the words "Gate of Hell" written in all caps. From that point on, he found several other arrows that led off the main hallway. He kept following them until he found himself in a large room filled with a huge pile of human skeletal remains. He had barely started looking around the strange room when he heard something moving around him. He was sure that he was the only one in the room at that point in time. So who or what was this thing that was moving around that he couldn't see? All of a sudden, it felt like something was coming directly at him, so he threw the camera and started running down the narrow hallway as if someone was chasing him. The abandoned camera kept running until it ran out of battery and went off. 10 years later, a group of urban explorers exploring the tunnels found the camera where he had dropped it 10 years ago, and that's how we got to know about his story. It is not clear whether the man found his way out, but many suspect his bones may have been added to the countless others on the catacomb floor. The Naica Crystal Cave is located about 1,000 feet below a mountain in Mexico. It is filled with some of the largest and most beautiful crystals in the world, but it is also one of the deadliest places on Earth. The cave sits directly above a magma chamber, so the temperature can climb as high as 136 degrees Fahrenheit and the humidity can reach 99%. This means the air is so saturated with moisture that sweat won't even evaporate from your skin to cool you down. Spending more than 10 minutes down there could cause you heat stroke, organ failure, or even death. Although authorities have warning signs at the entrance to discourage untrained people from going in, some people simply choose to ignore them. A couple of years ago, a miner who had heard of the crystals present within the cave decided to take some for himself. He snuck past the barriers and made his way into the cave with some plastic bags filled with fresh air. Unfortunately, his strategy did not work. He lost consciousness and collapsed to the hot ground before he could even fill his bags. And before anyone could find him, he had baked to a crisp. So that's going to do it, guys. Let me know in the comments which of these 3 places you would love to visit and your reason for picking it. Meanwhile, if you like listening to stories like this, kindly hit the like button and subscribe to my channel as I post once or twice every week.